In American football, there is a lot of brutal change of direction, which means a high eccentric constraint on hamstring. The player needs to create inertia but stop it when they want, and most of the time at a high running velocity. Our role is to develop the strength of our athletes, to be more efficient on the first step of acceleration but also during the deceleration. In this sport, lower body is really implicated, but upper body also for the movement as throwing, grabbing or tackling. Our goal is to develop max strength for grabbing and tackling movements and force velocity for throwing movements.
Now we're going to introduce our athlete. So, as you have listened, our athlete is a football player, he is quarterback. He is 18 years old and he weighs 90 kilos for 185 centimeters. He is quite stronger because his one maximal repetition on squat is 165 kilos and the bench press is 100 kilo. He has a good balance between his upper and lower limbs because his 1 MR on the chin-up exercise is 140 kilos. These loads include his body mass. Otherwise, he has no previous injuries and he has to work on force max strengthening and velocity to be less vulnerable on the field. So we have to build a program of 10 weeks with 2 sessions per week. We have sequenced this program in 3 different parts: 6 weeks of force maximal strengthening, 2 weeks of transition with a program of velocity and force, and 2 weeks of velocity training. Now, let us introduce our exercise.
The force program, it is important to mention that you have to increase the load gradually and reduce the volume of the session during the progress of the program. The goal is to have a focus on the force gains. Moreover, you have to realize all of this exercise as the most dynamically as possible. We are excited to do this good morning exercise for various reasons. First of all, as you can see in the video, it induces a flexion of the hip, so it enables to lengthening the hamstring. Thus, we are going to strengthening this muscle in eccentric. So the goal here is to train, mobilize one of the main muscle which is solicited in the field. Here, rotation is the key. Before talking about physics and the interest of this exercise, we have to mention its main limitation. First, the eccentric caused a lot of muscular damage, so you have to use it with experimented athletes. The more, according to the good morning exercise, we have to say that the position can be uncomfortable, especially with the barbell on the shoulder. So to optimize the comfort of your athletes, you can add some pad all around the neck to create an absorbing surface before the bones. The contact will be less painful. Furthermore, you have to keep your back straight and contract your abs, because if you don't do it, it can be dangerous for your back. Keep in mind, safety is the key. To get back to our exercise, we have decided to make 4 sets of 6 reps with tempo of 2xx. The more important time is during the eccentric phase. So to sum up, eccentric causes a lot of muscular damage, but it also enables to create a lot of gain of force. Moreover, with this exercise we had a lot of constraints for athletes. Indeed, we increased the attractivity in the floor. The weight propel our athlete on the floor, so he has to control the inertia of the barbell and thus the momentum. So you have to flex your hip slightly, stabilize the weight, and back to the initial posture, safety, and with a lot of control. We have decided to do this bench press exercise with dumbbell in this position because we want to be as close to the field as possible. Indeed, here we want to mobilize the upper part of the pectorals because it will be one of the main muscles solicited during a tackle in football. That it means we are going to do pressure again our opposition to the top from the floor. We understand here that the upper part of the pectoral will be greatly solicited, so we have to strengthen it. A lot of people use this exercise with a bad posture. So to work optimally, it is important to mention some elements. First, you have to fix your scapulas to get a focus on your pectorals. But secondly, the breath and the contraction of the halves are also important with this exercise. According to the difficulty of stabilization, you have to realize it with some experimented athletes or to propose your head, for example. Moreover, it is important to mention that a focus on the upper part of the pectorals is not clever. You have to work all the muscle of the pectorals, but keep in mind the specificity of your sport. To get back to our exercise, we have decided to make 4 sets of 3 reps with 85% of your 1 maximal repetition. To sum up with this exercise, we are going to create a force development in opposition with the gravity force. So we are going to work on the acceleration and deceleration capacity of the heart. So we have to control the momentum. Here, specificity is the key. We have decided to do this kind of lunge exercise for various reasons. First, we are going to work on the range of motion. With this exercise, it is possible, so the gains are quite important. We are going to strengthen our lower and upper limbs, but especially the ankle. This joint is often a place of some injuries, particularly in football. One of the most recent is the non-solicitation of the maximal range of motion. Many people use only 1 or 2 specific angulation, which not unable to transfer the gains to the other angulation. This exercise enables it, but it is quite difficult. Indeed, the stabilization with the forward head lifted off the ground can be a limitation. That is why we have decided to add a barbell. It creates an attach point and enables to increase the external forces and strengthen the upper limbs. To get back to our exercise, we have decided to make 4 sets of 5 reps per leg. To sum up, adding a barbell creates an attach point and also increase the external forces. Indeed, it attracts the body to the floor, but here we want to work on the momentum control. So we have to initiate the movement explosively to propulse the barbell against gravity force and her inertia. Furthermore, we strengthen the ankle's maximal range of motion. That it means we prevent a lot of injuries, especially sprain. This movement is quite important during a ball throwing and also during a sprint, for example. So here again, specificity is the key. We have decided to do this core stability exercise for various reasons. Indeed, we are going to be as close to the field as possible because this exercise enables to create a rotation either to the hip and the shoulder. This movement is very specific for our athletes because it looks like to the cinematic of a ball throwing. It can be perceived as an assistant work, but we think it can be a full submax exercise too. It is useful during this program because without a strengthened rotation, throwing is not quite good. Here, rotation is the key. Before talking about physics and the interest of this exercise, we have to mention its main limitation. First, the stabilization of the body can be a limitation, but also the load on the device. to optimize the force one, you have to contract your abs, but also to keep in mind that the movement is launched by the rotation of the hip and not by the pulling of the arm. The movement always begins with the rotation phase. According to the second Proctor machine, it is true that the load on the device cannot be heavy, but you have to practice it very explosively if you want to work correctly and optimally. To get back to our exercise, we have decided to make 4 sets of 5 reps per arm. To sum up, with this exercise we are going to create a force development in opposition with the inertia of the cable of the device. So we have to control the momentum optimally. Furthermore, it is important to practice this exercise to increase the rate of force development in hip and shoulder rotation, because these movements are very specific for our athlete.
Single leg hip thrust is a maximal ISO exercise which increase maximal strength. So this we work on the strength transfer from upper body to lower body, especially during running phase. So Xerxes squat is to develop maximal strength by an ISO exercise. This exercise is quite the same as the American football play. There's a lot of action in the game like this. So this max ISO specific position, accentuated by putting the back foot as a starting block, helps the player to have a gain of strength in a position really used in American football. Eccentric rowing develop the ability to control the momentum by fighting against the gravity force and by controlling the inertia of the kettlebells. Important in throwing movement because external rotators are involved to control the arm and have an accurate precision. The Romanian deadlift is a maximal strength exercise on the hamstring with an accentuated eccentric phase. So it develops the strength of the hamstring, which are involved in deceleration phase and change of direction moments. This it's important because there is a lot of eccentric component of the hamstring during the change of direction. So the core stability with rubber band work on the trunk muscle involved in throwing. This exercise will be performed at max strength with maximal intent. So this increase the instability by using a rubber band, and it's really interesting because in a throwing movement there is a lot of instability of the trunk.
Here again we have decided to do the good morning exercise because we think it's useful and optimize